Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel bell for more amazing coin history and value content. In today's video, we are exploring 3 Jefferson nickels from 1989, 1995, and 2001. Each of these coins comes from a different period and carries its own unique story, design details, and collector interest. If you love learning about old US coins, their history, and hidden facts, you're in the right place. So let's get started and take a closer look at these fascinating Jefferson nickels. First up, the 2001 Jefferson nickel may appear to be a simple 5-cent coin, but in reality, it represents the closing chapter of a long and familiar design era in United States coinage. This coin belongs to a time when America was standing at the edge of change, culturally, economically, and historically. When we look closely at the 2001 Jefferson nickel, we are not just looking at pocket change, we are holding a small metal record of a nation moving into the 21st century. The Jefferson nickel design was first introduced in 1938, replacing the iconic Buffalo nickel. For more than 60 years, this design remained mostly unchanged, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. By the year 2001, the design had become deeply familiar to the American public. Just a few years later, this classic look would be altered forever with the introduction of the Westward Journey series. That makes the 2001 Jefferson nickel especially important. It is one of the last coins of the traditional Jefferson-Monticello era. On the obverse of the 2001 Jefferson nickel, we see a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson was not only a political leader but also a philosopher, architect, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His presence on the nickel reflects American values of freedom, education, and democracy. The portrait used on the 2001 coin is based on a bust sculpted by Jean-Antoine Houdin, one of the most respected sculptors of the 18th century. The word, liberty, appears clearly on the left side of the coin, symbolizing one of the core principles of the United States. To the right of Jefferson's portrait, you'll find the date 2001, along with the mint mark. The mint mark is a small letter that tells collectors where the coin was produced. A, P, indicates the Philadelphia Mint, A, D, represents the Denver Mint, and A, S, mint mark is reserved for proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. These tiny letters may look insignificant, but to collectors, they make a huge difference. The reverse side of the 2001 Jefferson nickel features Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic home located in Virginia. Monticello is more than just a building, it is a symbol of Jefferson's intellectual life and architectural vision. The image shows the structure from a straight-on view, with its symmetrical design and iconic dome. Above Monticello, the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, appears, meaning, out of many, one. Below the building are the inscriptions, Monticello, 5 cents, and, United States of America. One of the most important details on the reverse of Jefferson nickels is the steps of Monticello. These steps are crucial for collectors because they reveal the quality of the coin's strike. On many coins, the steps appear weak or blended together due to worn dies or weak pressure during minting. However, when all the steps are clearly visible and separated, the coin may qualify for the full steps designation. A 2001 Jefferson nickel with full steps is far more desirable and significantly more valuable than an average circulated example. In terms of composition, the 2001 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy that has been used for U.S. nickels since the 19th century. This composition gives the coin its familiar silver-gray color and allows it to withstand years of circulation. Despite being over 2 decades old, many 2001 nickels still appear in everyday change because of their strong metal composition. The year 2001 itself holds deep historical importance. It was a year that began with optimism and ended with tragedy. The events of September 11, 2001, changed the United States and the world forever. Coins like the 2001 Jefferson nickel circulated quietly during this emotional and transformative period. While the coin does not directly reference these events, it was present in daily life during a time of national reflection and change. From a minting perspective, hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels were produced in 2001, mainly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Because of this high mintage, the coin is generally considered common. However, common does not mean unimportant. In coin collecting, historical context, condition, and strike quality often matter more than rarity alone. Most circulated 2001 Jefferson nickels show signs of wear on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline. On the reverse, wear is usually visible on the steps and columns of Monticello. These signs of circulation tell a story of how the coin was used, passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, across shops, buses, and vending machines. Uncirculated examples, especially those preserved in mint rolls or official mint sets, show bright luster and sharp details. These coins were never used in everyday transactions and were often saved by collectors who recognized the importance of preserving modern coinage. Coins graded Mississippi 65 or higher are especially popular among collectors of modern Jefferson nickels. Proof versions of the 2001 Jefferson nickel were struck at the San Francisco Mint. These coins feature mirror-like fields and frosted design elements, created using specially polished dies. Proof coins were never intended for circulation, instead, they were sold directly to collectors. A well-preserved 2001 proof nickel is a beautiful example of modern minting craftsmanship. For beginner collectors, the 2001 Jefferson nickel offers an excellent entry point into U.S. coin collecting. It is affordable, easy to find, and rich in educational value. Collectors can learn about mint marks, grading, proof coins, and the importance of strike quality. For advanced collectors, the challenge lies in finding high-grade examples with strong strikes and full steps. Even damaged or worn 2001 Jefferson nickels have value, not always in money, but in knowledge. They help collectors understand how coins age, how metal reacts to years of handling, and how small details fade over time. Every scratch, mark, and smooth surface tells part of the coin's journey. In conclusion, the 2001 Jefferson nickel is far more than just a 5-cent piece. It represents the end of a long design tradition, a moment in American history, and the everyday life of a nation entering a new century. Whether found in circulation or carefully stored in a collection, this coin reminds us that history often lives in the smallest details, right in the palm of our hand. Next coin, the 1995 Jefferson nickel, is a classic example of modern American coinage that bridges everyday circulation with historical continuity. At first glance, this 5-cent coin may seem ordinary, but when we take time to study it closely, it reveals a deeper story about U.S. minting practices, collector culture, and the steady presence of history in daily life. Coins like the 1995 Jefferson nickel remind us that even common objects can hold meaning beyond their face value. The Jefferson nickel design was introduced in 1938, honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. By 1995, this design had already been in use for nearly 6 decades, making it one of the most recognizable and stable designs in American coin history. Its longevity reflects both public familiarity and respect for Jefferson's role in shaping the nation. On the obverse of the 1995 Jefferson nickel, we see a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His expression is calm and intellectual, reflecting his reputation as a thinker, writer, and statesman. Jefferson was not only a president but also the main author of the Declaration of Independence, a diplomat, and a strong supporter of education and individual liberty. His image on the nickel symbolizes these enduring American values. The word, liberty, appears prominently on the left side of the coin. This single word carries immense symbolic weight, representing freedom, independence, and democratic ideals. On the right side of Jefferson's portrait, the date 1995 is displayed, along with the mint mark. The mint mark is a small but crucial detail for collectors. A. P. indicates the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A. D. shows it was produced at the Denver Mint. And an S. mint mark is used for proof coins made at the San Francisco Mint. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's famous plantation home in Virginia. Monticello is not just a residence, it is a symbol of Jefferson's architectural vision and intellectual curiosity. The building's neoclassical design reflects Jefferson's admiration for ancient Roman architecture and Enlightenment ideals. On the coin, Monticello is shown with balanced proportions and clear lines, emphasizing stability and tradition. Above Monticello, the inscription, E pluribus unum, appears. This Latin phrase means, out of many, one, representing the unity of the United States as a single nation formed from many states and cultures. Below Monticello, the words, Monticello, 5 cents, and, United States of America, complete the design, clearly identifying the coin's denomination and country of origin. One of the most important features collectors look for on Jefferson nickels is the steps of Monticello. These steps are located at the base of the building on the reverse side. Due to wear, weak strikes, or worn dies, these steps often appear flat or partially blended together. However, when all the steps are clearly visible and sharply defined, the coin may qualify for the full steps designation. A 1995 Jefferson nickel with full steps is significantly more desirable and can carry a much higher collector premium. The metal composition of the 1995 Jefferson nickel is 75% copper and 25% nickel. This alloy has been used for U.S. nickels since 1866 and is known for its durability. The composition gives the coin its distinctive silver-gray appearance and allows it to withstand years of circulation without losing structural integrity. Because of this durability, many 1995 nickels remain in circulation even today. From a historical perspective, 1995 was a time of technological growth and cultural change in the United States. The Internet was becoming more widely used, global communication was expanding, and everyday life was slowly transitioning into the digital age. Coins like the 1995 Jefferson nickel circulated during this period of transformation, quietly passing through countless hands as the world changed around them. The United States Mint produced a large number of Jefferson nickels in 1995, primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Due to this high mintage, the coin is generally considered common. However, in coin collecting, condition is everything. A heavily circulated coin and a well-preserved uncirculated coin from the same year can have very different levels of collector interest. Circulated 1995 Jefferson nickels typically show wear on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline. The details around the eye may appear softer, and the lettering may lose some sharpness. On the reverse, wear is often visible on the steps and roof of Monticello. These signs of wear are natural results of years of handling and use in everyday transactions. Uncirculated examples, on the other hand, show strong original luster and crisp details. These coins were often taken directly from mint rolls or official mint sets and carefully preserved. Collectors value these coins for their clean surfaces, sharp strikes, and overall eye appeal. Coins graded Mississippi 65 or higher are especially popular among modern Jefferson nickel collectors. Proof versions of the 1995 Jefferson nickel were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are made using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like backgrounds and frosted design elements. These coins were not meant for circulation and were sold directly to collectors. A well-preserved 1995 proof nickel is a fine example of the high level of craftsmanship achieved by the U.S. Mint. For beginner collectors, the 1995 Jefferson nickel is an excellent educational coin. It provides an opportunity to learn about mint marks, grading, proof coins, and the importance of strike quality. Because the coin is affordable and easy to find, new collectors can practice identifying details and understanding condition without significant financial risk. Advanced collectors often focus on assembling complete date and mint mark sets or searching for high-grade examples with full steps. This pursuit adds challenge and excitement to collecting Jefferson nickels, even for years that are considered common. Even worn or damaged 1995 Jefferson nickels have value as teaching tools. They show how coins age over time and how circulation affects fine details. In this way, every coin, regardless of condition, contributes to a collector's understanding of numismatics. In conclusion, the 1995 Jefferson nickel represents stability, tradition, and everyday American life in the mid-1990s. It may not be rare, but it is meaningful. It connects the legacy of Thomas Jefferson with a modern era of change and progress. Whether found in pocket change or preserved in a collection, this coin reminds us that history often lives quietly in the smallest details. Final coin: the 1989 Jefferson nickel is a quiet yet powerful reminder of late 20th century America. While it may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, it represents continuity, tradition, and the everyday history of millions of people. Coins like the 1989 Jefferson nickel traveled through countless hands during a time of global change, making them small but meaningful witnesses to history. The Jefferson nickel design was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. By 1989, this design had already been in circulation for more than 50 years. Its long life reflects how strongly Americans connected with the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and one of the nation's most influential founding fathers. On the obverse of the 1989 Jefferson nickel, we see a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His calm and thoughtful expression reflects his role as a philosopher, writer, and statesman. Jefferson was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and a strong believer in liberty, education, and democratic values. His portrait on the nickel serves as a daily reminder of these ideals. The word, liberty, appears clearly on the left side of the coin, representing one of the core principles upon which the United States was founded. On the right side of Jefferson's portrait is the date 1989, along with the mint mark. The mint mark is a small letter that provides important information to collectors. A, P, indicates the Philadelphia Mint, A, D, shows the Denver Mint, and an S, mint mark is used for proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. Monticello is not only a residence but also a symbol of Jefferson's architectural vision and intellectual curiosity. The building's balanced design reflects the influence of classical architecture and Enlightenment ideals. On the coin, Monticello stands as a symbol of stability, knowledge, and heritage. Above Monticello, the Latin inscription, E pluribus unum, is engraved. This phrase means, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the United States. Below the building, the inscriptions, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America, clearly identify the coin's denomination and country of origin. One of the most important features collectors examine on Jefferson nickels is the steps of Monticello. These steps are crucial in determining the quality of the coin's strike. Many nickels show weak or blended steps due to worn dies or insufficient striking pressure. However, when all the steps are clearly visible and sharply defined, the coin may qualify for the full steps designation. A 1989 Jefferson nickel with full steps is much more desirable and can carry a higher collector value. The 1989 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, an alloy known for its durability. This composition has been used for U.S. nickels since the 19th century and gives the coin its familiar silver-gray color. Because of this strong metal composition, many 1989 nickels remain in circulation even decades later. The year 1989 was historically significant around the world. It marked the end of the Cold War era, symbolized by the fall of the Berlin Wall. While the 1989 Jefferson nickel does not directly reference these global events, it circulated during a period of major political and social change. Coins like this quietly passed through everyday life while history unfolded around them. Large numbers of Jefferson nickels were produced in 1989, mainly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Because of this high mintage, the coin is generally considered common. However, in coin collecting, condition often matters more than rarity. A well-preserved 1989 nickel can be far more interesting to collectors than a heavily worn one. Circulated. Examples of the 1989 Jefferson nickel often show wear on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline. The lettering may appear softer, and fine details may be reduced. On the reverse side, wear is usually most noticeable on the steps and roof of Monticello. These signs of wear tell the story of a coin that was actively used in daily transactions. Uncirculated 1989 Jefferson nickels, especially those preserved in mint rolls or official mint sets, show bright luster and sharp details. These coins were never used in circulation and remain close to their original condition. Collectors highly value such examples, particularly those graded Mississippi 65 or higher. Proof versions of the 1989 Jefferson nickel were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are specially made for collectors using polished dies and carefully prepared blanks. They feature mirror-like fields and frosted design elements, making them visually striking. A high-quality 1989 proof nickel is an excellent example of U.S. mint craftsmanship. For beginner collectors, the 1989 Jefferson nickel is an ideal coin to study. It is affordable, easy to find, and rich in learning opportunities. It teaches important lessons about grading, mint marks, and strike quality. For advanced collectors, the challenge lies in finding high-grade examples with full steps. Even worn or damaged 1989 Jefferson nickels have value as educational tools. They help collectors understand how coins age and how circulation affects fine details. Every mark and smooth surface tells part of the coin's journey through time. In conclusion, the 1989 Jefferson nickel may be small in size, but it carries a meaningful story. It represents continuity in American coinage, the enduring legacy of Thomas Jefferson, and the quiet presence of history in everyday life. Whether found in pocket change or preserved in a collection, this coin reminds us that history often lives in the simplest objects.